Okay, we're looking at mixed exercise 9 from the first year core textbook. So we're on trigonometry. Question 17, it kind of just follows on from question 16, really. It's very similar question. In fact, they refer to question 16 in the instructions. So we want the graph of, and it's not, this really isn't an exam style question, but it's really just making sure you're sort of used to working with the cosine, sine and tan curves. Okay, so sketching the cos curve, or the cosine curve between 0 and 360. Hopefully that's not too much of a problem. Okay, so okay. Mark the point alpha 0. So if you just look back to question 16, alpha was sort of about there. And then they asked us to mark 180 minus alpha. So if that's alpha, 180 minus alpha will take me to about there. 180 plus alpha, so that will take me alpha up from 180, and then I think it was 360 minus alpha, wasn't it? So to be honest, this question is really just setting you up for when you have to solve trig equations. So you wouldn't get an exam question, I don't think, that sort of asked you to show all these things, but you certainly will have to use this. Okay, so so they're then just asking me to verify that cos alpha equals the same as cos 360 minus alpha. Okay, and obviously this is a sketch, but I can see that because obviously this curve is symmetrical about 180, those two would give me the same value because the distance from that maximum point to alpha is going to be the same as the distance from that maximum point to 360 minus alpha. That graph is totally symmetrical. So I'm happy with the start and the end of that statement. So I'm happy that cos alpha does equal 360 minus alpha. Then they're basically saying the other two, so clearly the other two don't equal the same because they're going to give me negative values of cos. But they're just asking me to verify that it would be the same magnitude, so it would be the same value, but this one will be positive and this one will be negative. And that is because the graph has rotational symmetry. So it has rotational symmetry about 90. So that value, so that part of the curve, I know it's not perfect on my sketch, but that does have rotational symmetry. So that point there and that point there will be the same distance from y is 0, but obviously that one will be negative and that one will be positive. So we have, I won't write that whole statement out again, but we have verified that is true. Okay, so that was for cos. So let's just check that we agree it works, whatever they say about tan does work. So a relatively neat sketch of tan. Okay. I need to go a little bit further, don't I? I'm going up 360, yeah, I'm going to 360, okay. Okay, so I've got my intercepts at 180 and 360. That's the graph of y equals tan x. Okay, so alpha was about there somewhere. So I need to label on 180 minus alpha, so that can be about there, and then 180 plus alpha, be about there, and then 360 minus alpha. And in fact, so before we even, I won't even sort of look at what they've said. Let's just see what we think about these. Okay, so again, my sketch of tan is not perfect. It would do, that's all they would need. But they don't actually look like they are at exactly the same height that they should be, because obviously these sections of the tan curve are all identical to each other. So I would be saying that, in fact, I'll cover that right at the start. So tan alpha equals tan of 180 plus alpha, and then the other two are both going to give us the same value or the same magnitude. So if that's k, that will be minus k. Again, because we've got rotational symmetry. So we've got rotational symmetry about 180, about 360. So that section of the graph and that section of the graph, if that's going up to k and that distance is alpha, that's going to go down to minus k because that distance is also alpha. Okay, so let's just double check that we do agree with them. So they're saying that tan alpha equals minus tan of alpha 1 minus 1. So I'm going to say it, start again, right? They're saying that tan of alpha equals minus the tan of 180 minus alpha, yeah, equals the same as tan 180 plus alpha, yeah, and then equals minus the tan of 360 minus alpha. Okay, so I think we agree.